So the first match is this all-Chinese mixed doubles semi-final. Of course, the first of two all-Chinese semi-finals. The last two matches between these four have gone to 3 sets. So let's get the players out on court, shall we? To introduce them is the PA announcer, Howard Bentham.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first match on court is the mixed doubles! Please welcome from China, the #1 seeds, Zhang and Zhao Yunlei! And please welcome their opponents, also from China, the #6 seeds, Chen and Jin.
So the players making their way to court. Here come the outsiders, but they're not rank outsiders, are they, Chen and Jin, after all? Jin is the defending champion, having won this in 2010. In some respect, this is China's weakest event, only winning 4 gold medals over the 19 editions of the World Championships since they were first hosted in 1977, but they got 2 in the semi-finals here, guaranteed place in the final. I'm Richard Kaufman, and a warm welcome wherever you are in the world. Alongside me is a former twice semi-finalist of World Championships in the mixed doubles, Jill Clark alongside me. Jill, we've got 2 all-Chinese clashes to start the day with, but you look throughout the afternoon and evening session here, and we've got some really good matchups, starting with this one.
Yes, we certainly have. That's what you would expect at semi-final stage of World Championships. Terrific matchups. This will be interesting because as far as this pair is concerned, in the red shirts, Chen, he's been a bronze medalist a year ago in men's doubles. But as you say, Jin, she is the holder of the world title in mixed doubles with Zhang. Their world ranking over only 16. I say only 16 because they've only played 7 tournaments towards that world ranking. They only formed their partnership earlier this year. The second tournament they ever played, the All England, they won. Yep. So, you know, to say that they're outsiders, yes, because their ranking is lower, but when you look at their results, they've got every chance of going the full distance.
Well, it's been fairly straightforward for them so far. Come through 3 matches in straight sets. As you can see, they haven't been longer on court than 36 minutes. That was in yesterday's match against the Singapore pair of Chad and Yao.
I think the interesting thing there is that they haven't come up against a seeded pair. Semi-final of World Championships, and you're playing against your first seeded pair in the semi-final.
Well, they certainly are now as they come up against the world #1 pair, don't they? They know what's ahead of them. They know their opponents very well indeed. Zhang and Zhao Yunlei, world #1 as they have been for the last 27 weeks. 4 victories from 7 events this year, including 2 Super Series events in 3 attempts of trying. They've only lost 3 times this year, although one of them, of course, was against Shu and Ma. a very impressive career win-loss, isn't it? They have been top dogs, if you like, as far as mixed doubles are concerned. And an item together, I think, as boyfriend and girlfriend, if the speculation is right.
Yes, that's what I understand. So the Chinese team are a little bit cagey about things like that.
And they've only been 40 minutes on court in their longest match. That was against Fuchs and Michaels. So both these pairs have so far come through in straight sets. You look at their head-to-head meeting, Jill, and they met 3 times previously, all this year. 2-1 to Zhao and Zhang, but there've been some very close matches. Their last one took until the 3rd set, 25-23. Just look at the umpire there, Hu Longhu of China, and the service judge, Eva Cassel of Switzerland. It suggests we're in for a very tight match here.
Yes, it does indeed, and I think this will be very keenly contested because they are both new partnerships in relative terms. I mean, they obviously with Ma Jin and Zhu Chen, they only formed their partnership this year. But as far as the #1 seeds are concerned, last year was their first full year on the World Tour in mixed doubles, playing mixed doubles together. And so they are both, vying for positions. Obviously, you've got to think that the world #1s are automatically going to qualify for the Olympic Games. But there's so many strong pairs, and with only 16 qualifiers for Olympics, this could have quite an influence. Once Zhu Chen and Ma Jin have got their optimum number of tournaments, 10, at the moment they've only played 7, their world ranking will shoot up. So, there's more riding on this than just a world championship medal.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Zhao Yunlei there.
on my right, Zhao Yunlei,
The blue.
China.
She'll be in the women's doubles later against Ponaper and Guta with Zhang.
And on my left, Chen, Ma Jin, China. Ma Jin serve to Zhang. Level play.
So the first of the 10 semi-finals here at Wembley today in these World Championships in London. There's the big guys in his Zhu Chen.
Yes, well, if this opening rally is any indication of what's to come, this is going to be fast and furious.
Zhu Chen again plays the winner. Interesting, you saw his symbols there behind his back. You pointed out to me earlier in the week, of course, Jill, that there's a big TV monitor screen right in the middle of the auditorium above the big London bus where they came in. And if the players actually looked up, they'd be able to see what symbols the opposition are using.
Yeah. And
the fact that they're both in the Chinese camp, they may understand what those symbols mean.
Yeah.
Wow. Zhu Chen with one round the back there. He started fairly confidently, hasn't he? And another one.
My goodness.
He's showing off now.
Yeah, super play. What wonderful rally.
Okay, it's cheeky to do this once, isn't it? Okay. And twice? Well, he's showing off, isn't it? Hope it carries on like this, because we're in for a terrific next hour or so, aren't we? We liked it as well.
2.
Yeah, it was a good return of serve. Set up the rally.
3-all.
Well, the apology was long and sincere, I think, there from Zhang.
Oh, that's clever.
Very deceptive, wasn't it?
Well, if you were with us yesterday, we were talking about Ma Jin's movement at the front of the court. But I think there's one thing to look out for with Ma Jin. She does cover the front exceptionally well, but an awful lot of the time she does just block the shuttle rather than really put pressure on. And I think that's maybe one of the differences between these two pairs, because I think Zhao Yunlei, when she gets to the net and she gets involved, she's got far more variety. Oh, that's a wasted opportunity. Real indecision between Zhu Chen and Ma Jin. And then Zhang now makes the error. Yeah, he won't be happy with that.
Indecision was punished. Jin sticking it away.
Well, both these female players are so physically strong. Won't be a weakness if they get pushed to the back of the court. In fact, both of them have been in final of World Championships women's doubles, which just shows their all-round capabilities. That's a good return of serve.
So it's over 4-6.
Just tapping the shuttle in a downward direction, using the mid-court area. Enough pace on it to make it very awkward for Ma Jin, but the shuttle would have landed way in front of Zhu Chen. And that's the idea, get it past the net player, but make the shuttle land in front of the rear court player.
6-all.
No, he looks nervous to me, Zhang.
7-6.
Great defense.
Fair play from Zhao Yunlei.
There is over 7-all. Okay, thank you.
You mentioned Zhang Nan being a little bit nervous. I mean, he is sort of the baby of the four out there, just 21.
Yes, and he's the only player on court that's not won a World Championship medal prior to this year. Obviously, he's guaranteed at least a bronze by being in the semi-final, but the other three players on court all have experience of World Championship semi-finals. Well, a couple of times you noted early on that Chen was very relaxed, that he was playing round the back shots, and, you know, that one was ambitious.
Is that a negative thing, though, that he's trying to play shots?
It's unusual. Three straight points for the #1 seeds. Oh, that's too loose. You cannot afford to do that against Zhao Yunlei. She will pounce on that. So now 4 straight points.
Well, that will help settle any nerves, won't it?
Pushed it long.
So it's over.
And of course,
8-10.
Zhang Nan and Zhao Yunlei, silver medalists at the Asian Games at the end of last year. I think Zhao Yunlei actually trod on the shuttle at the end of that rally. So delighted with her play.
So 11-8, the interval lead then for the world #1 pair. Their victory came in their second event together, the All England Championships, and they beat Zhang and Zhao on their way, did
20 seconds.
Chen and margin.
20 seconds.
Of course, Margin's gold-winning partner from a year ago, Zhang, straight after the World Championships in Paris, 2010, got thrown out of the squad.
That'll teach him for winning gold.
Yeah. Well,
11,
cited that his attitude was not right in day-to-day training, which, well, we don't know about that.
Service over 9-11.
Well, it's a decisive lead, isn't it? 3 points, Jill, in mixed doubles, because it's very hard to win a point on your serve.
Yeah. I think that last rally, though, great example of Zhao Yunlei being very, very positive at the front of the court. It's all about good serving and return of serve.
Service over.
But that proving your point, Richard. You know, it was a good serve from Zhao Yunlei. And even so, lose the rally in double quick time. So back to within a point of their opponents. And again, return of serve. So good.
11.
That's good. Great judgment. Was just wide.
Service 12-13.
It's interesting, Richard, that we've got a Chinese umpire. They've been very careful all week to make sure they have neutral, but because it's two Chinese pairs playing, it's about the only opportunity that a Chinese court official would have of officiating on semi-finals day.
Yeah, or Hu would have been unemployed otherwise.
Yeah, it's very aggressive, isn't it? Zhang Nan.
This is the only match in which the Chinese umpire is officiating.
Just sense that Zhang Nan and Zhao Yunlei are beginning to stamp their authority on this opening game. One or two errors creeping into the game of Chen. Yeah, and indeed his partner.
12.
It's very difficult when you're playing against players from your own country because you practice together on a regular basis and probably no more so than in China because, you know, it's legendary how hard they train and how much they practice. So they'll be practicing against each other, you know, 2 or 3 times a day. So they'll know each other's styles of games inside out.
Yeah, they've been training together for the month build-up to these championships.
In Qingdao, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah. And as you say, they've met each other 3 times in competition already this year, never mind the training as well. Lovely rally, this. Wonderful. It's not over yet, though. Brilliant array of skills there.
Brilliant. Oh, my goodness.
But it's point of the day. It could end up being the point of the day. That's some absolutely stunning badminton in this rally.
What a net shot. And then the response from Zhang Nan was absolutely extraordinary. Well, Zhu Chen may regret the fact that he played the net shot in the first place. He had an opportunity to kill it. He didn't take that opportunity. Thought his opponents were so far out of position a net shot would suffice, but as we saw, it didn't.
A little taste of why they're world #1, these two.
Yeah, and it is astonishing. Since they formed their partnership, 16 individual tournaments, and of those 16 tournaments, 10 finals, winning 7 of them. That's what I call an impressive start to a partnership. Oh, she touched the net. Faulted by the umpire, well spotted.
70.
Yeah.
It was probably going wide, wasn't it?
Yeah, it might well have done. Well, Zhu Chen and Ma Jin were lucky to get away with that because there was a huge gap across court, and Zhao Yunlei just trying to guide the shuttle into the open space.
Got herself right into position there, Ma Jin.
40.
And a big point in some respect because we'd expected her to put that away and it would have been 17-15.
Yeah, psychologically at this stage of the match, that's obviously very important, big influence. That's short. Flutter smash that time from Zhu Chen. Great power.
Well, he's flamboyant, to say the least, isn't he? Chen, he might shake his head.
It's over. 16-19.
Zhu Chen and Ma Jin here, deep in discussion. She's limping a little bit, and
Yeah, she's got that right ankle heavily strapped.
yeah, they were chatting away there, and I think, well, obviously I can't understand what Ma Jin's saying, but
I didn't actually notice her twisted. I didn't see the incident where she winced, but I have a nasty feeling that she's going to call this a day.
because I think there was a shot where she knocks it into the net,
Oh, yes, I did see that. Oh, my goodness. That was nasty.
Yes,
well, one of the deputy referees, Yamada, from Japan, calling the tournament doctor.
No treatment time. Just bleeding.
Dr. Ashwin Patel.
In the foot. In the foot.
well, Ma Jin,
Okay, quickly.
who's the defending champion, if you like, in these mixed doubles. This would be some way for her to lose grip on the world gold, wouldn't it?
Oh, it looked pretty tragic. And it was really developing into a very exciting, entertaining mixed doubles encounter. Well, I didn't see it in real time, as it were, but looking at that again, that looked very nasty. And she's obviously got a weakness there anyway.
Just gave away the leg, didn't it?
Yes, it's definitely the ankle.
Yeah. When you jolt in the way that you do, when you're having to stop, start, move one way and the other, it's surprising. It doesn't happen more often, really.
Yeah, and in mixed doubles, because the woman tends to try and be at the net more than in any other discipline, there's so much sideways movement.
Well, she's great at doing it, Ma Jin in particular.
She's particularly good at it, but that's probably, you know, puts more strain on the ankles than running forward and back. It's the sideways movement, I think, that probably is going to test that more than anything.
Well, she's obviously going to try and carry it. Might as well give it to the end of this set, I would have thought.
Well, absolutely. But, of course, two Chinese pairs playing against each other, the coaching staff are not involved. I wouldn't be at all surprised if one of the coaches is so concerned about her and how bad the injury is that one of the coaches might come on and just say, look, are you okay? We don't need long-term damage. That's well wide.
And for the two of them here, it's game points now, but it's very hard, say, for example, for Xu Chen here to concentrate fully on the job at hand when he might be thinking, I've got to protect my partner.
Yes. That's a great return of serve. Goodness me, you won't see better than that. Perfect.
And with Ma Jin's game, as we're saying, mobility is such a key part of it. It's robbed them of one of their biggest weapons, this pair. Well, disappointing way to end a super set in all respects, really. The injury and then that serve into the net from Ma Jin. Well, she's got an injury problem and they got another problem. They're a set down to Zhang and Zhao here. First set going 21-17. I'm surprised there's no physio treatment during the interval here, really. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Is former world and Olympic champion Zhang just finding out how bad it is. He's obviously, and Tian Bingyi. Yeah, they're calling it a day. I'm not surprised.
Well, it's sensible in some respect. It's disappointing in another, because of course we were looking forward to this. They played 3 matches before. The last 2 of them have gone to 3 sets, and the way this match had begun, you thought, well, there's every chance this is going to be another thriller, but I'm afraid it's a walkover in the end. So, there you go. You never know what's going to be around the corner, do you? And unfortunately, that's a miserable way in some respect to start this semi-finals day at the World Championships. So it's the world #1 pair of Zhang Nan and Zhao Yunlei who get through to the final of these World Championships in London. and I would say not the way they would have wanted to as well, Jill.
No, indeed. I mean, it's very, very disappointing, especially for Ma Jin as the defending champion, as you say.
So, Chris Akop and Imogen Banka, Liliana Natsir and Ahmad of Indonesia. Now it's the world number one. They will meet in the final should they come through their encounter later on this evening. The world number one pair then through, unfortunately because of that injury, through Ma Jin's ankle.